I'm a lawyer. I'm not a scientist. I'm not any of that. But I love science fiction on Star Wars and Star Trek and Men in Black and Back to the Future. So some of what we're doing here, it reminds me of Back to the Future. A real effort on exploration, a real desire to do that. But when we were in the 60s, there was a real investment in getting to the moon. Or, you know, as the administrator knows, I want to get our astronauts to Mars by 2033, which the orbits of Mars and Earth are close, and it saves a lot of space travel and potential danger to our astronauts. But I guess, Mr. Administrator, my question is this. There is an emphasis on exploration, but it seems to be at the expense of a lot of the other missions of NASA, one of which is the Science or the Space Technology Mission Directorate. And I have a letter from one of your former colleagues, Bobby Braun, who's now a dean at the University of Colorado, in effect criticizing the loss of that directorate. And for the record, I'd like to introduce this letter, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection.
So my question to you, sir, is, and some of the other questions that Mr. Brooks asked, the chairman asked, Dr. Barra, it seems to me that in this process of focusing on the moon with a hope to get to Mars, that we're losing a lot of the other science elements and a lot of the other Earth science programs at the expense of this exploration effort. Is that true?
I don't believe it is. In fact, I would argue that our technology budget, when you look at it today, the exploration, research, and technology budget that we've proposed is $1 billion. Today, the space technology budget is roughly $700 million. So what we've done is we've aligned that technology budget with the exploration initiatives, and that particular part of the budget will now focus on what we call our long poles to getting to Mars, things like in-space propulsion, radiation safety, advanced life support that we need to actually take crews to Mars, and our entry, descent, and landing activities that we're doing at Mars that we don't have to worry about at the moon. So I think we still have a very balanced portfolio going forward, and I think just the alignment and the focus from an exploration standpoint is what you're seeing out of this budget.
Do you think you're putting the building blocks in place to get our astronauts to Mars by 2033?
We're putting the building blocks in place. I don't know if we're going to get to 2033 or not, but we're putting the building blocks in place that we need with the systems we're putting around the moon and on the moon.
I heard you say, and I think this was your quote, we're going to try to get to Mars in the 30s. Try. Another one of my movies, Star Wars, Yoda said, do or do not.
There is
no try.
Absolutely. I know it well. I use it with my team all the time.
All right. So, you know, I think that this committee has been, you know, in Congress it's pretty fractious sometimes, but this committee has been pretty solid in wanting to support the mission, the overall mission of NASA, exploration, science, Earth science, deep space. And I think this committee will be behind NASA in getting this done. Part of me feels like a lot of this budget was written by the Office of Management and Budget, which I'm not happy about. So I want you to know the support that I think you have among all of us, Democrats and Republicans. And I want to thank you again for your service, sir.
Thanks, sir.